Well, hey, hello, and how are you, everybody? The Buffalo Bills are undefeated no more. 23-20, losing to the New England Patriots, losing to, let's just say it, Stefon Diggs tonight.
Yeah.
Belt to, well, there's another word I can't use. Belt to butt tonight is what Stefon Diggs did to this team. 146 receiving yards, is that right? 127 combined from other Patriots wide receivers tonight. It's a lot of things to get into, but aside from Stefon Diggs' performance tonight, Matt, the Bills killed themselves. Penalties, the 3 turnovers.
Yep.
Josh Allen said it after the game. Simply put, you're never going to win games in the NFL when you turn the ball over 3 times. Costly mistakes ultimately really hurt this team in a game where maybe, Matt, they could have squeaked out another one of those ugly wins.
Yeah, for sure. And I hate to always be the guy or hate to be the guy in a situation like this where you talk about the Bills beat themselves, because I think the Patriots deserve credit. They made plays when they needed to.
For sure.
I think Drake May was really, really good, and obviously Stefon Diggs was really good. The Bills made it so much harder on themselves, and they put themselves into a hole that was just way too deep to ultimately climb out of. I mean, in the fourth quarter, they were down 10 points. To their credit, they got it back to a tie game, but they left too much time on the clock, and Drake May made some really nice plays, and then they kick a 52-yard field goal to ultimately go ahead. The big thing for me in this game, the turnovers were ridiculously bad, right? The end around to Dawson Knox is a play that you should never be trying to do, and that led to a fumble. Then there was another fumble from Keon Coleman on just a play that cannot simply happen. Like the Dawson Knox Josh Allen one feels like it was a bit poor timing, bad luck.
They got too cute. That was like you got a little too cute with it. The Keon one was like you fumbled it deep in your own territory on a ball that you just, as you put, simply can't lose there.
Yeah, exactly. And then the costliest of all of them was the Josh Allen red zone interception, because it took points off of the board. And in a game when you only lost by 3 points, those would have been really, really precious. Now, what's interesting, though, is that gets set up because of a penalty. And all night we were talking about the penalties and how often the Bills just continued to shoot themselves in the foot. So for a little perspective, the Josh Allen interception comes after an OPI penalty from Khalil Shakir. It was supposed to be 2nd and 3. That turned it into 2nd and 13, pushes the Bills back. Josh Allen said after the game he didn't force the throw. It was just a bad ball. It felt like he was trying to make something happen. It ultimately didn't. So that's, to me, the big stories of this game were the turnovers from the Bills and just how ridiculously sloppy they were, the penalties that they just continued to take, and then Stefon Diggs burning them time and time again.
Yeah, well, I'll get into Diggs in a second here, too. I want to talk about the penalties. I feel like we've had to talk about this team taking some really dumb penalties and accumulating a lot of them over the first 5 games of the season. Like, I feel like when we've done these chats before, and credit to the Bills because they've won every game up to this point, I feel like that's a thing where you don't get a lot in a Sean McDermott team that we're talking a little bit maybe too much about. On a grand scheme of things, I don't know how concerned I am. We're just 5 games in. I honestly think this game was just, and I said it to you before, it's kind of a culmination of just like some inconsistencies you saw from the first 4 weeks, even coming off that Saints game. I really felt like this team was coming into a place where it's like, hey, if you don't have it all buttoned together and you let the Patriots hang around, they're going to make you pay. Like, that's a good team. And Drake May, the play on the last drive where I thought his knee was down, but he somehow sidearms it, gets it to Diggs, of course. That's that's a Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes-esque play. That was insane. I mean, and like that's a moment where like I kind of looked at that. I'm going, okay, Drake May is a good baller for a second-year quarterback, and this team might become a little thorn in the side for future years to come here in the division. But aside from that, I still think 9 out of 10 times the Bills probably win this game if they don't commit 3 turnovers. I mean, like you said, you left points off the board with Josh Allen there, but it's just. Again, the overarching point I'm trying to get to, because I'm rambling a bit here, is that inconsistencies over the last few weeks, I think, finally caught up to the Bills, and you saw that out on the field today.
Yeah, and I don't think that the defense completely gets a pass in this game, because there were definitely things that they need to improve on. Like the play of their cornerback position was not good enough, and that's especially pointing to Tre'Davious White. And I'm not trying to single somebody out. It's just a lot of times Stefon Diggs was on Trey White, and he won almost every single time. Benford had a couple plays that he would probably want back too, but I do think they need more out of their second cornerback position, which is why they drafted Max Hairston. But now the injury and the lingering injury and not having Dorian Strong that you can kind of go into on the back pocket makes things even more difficult. the pass rush is just so inconsistent. Now, to start the game, Greg Rousseau, nice splash play. Then it kind of went away for a while. They were able to get the Patriots off the field a couple times. Shaq Thompson had a really nice one. Yep. But think about the play that you're just talking about. That's Daquan Jones has him wrapped up, right? If you bring him down, all of a sudden it's like 2nd and 17 as opposed to first and 10. That's what I mean. And then maybe the Bills are getting the ball back, or who knows how it ultimately plays out. So the defense needs to clean up things. But the defense in this game, to me, played well enough to get a win. This is much more about the offense, which is why it's a little bit surprising. Because up to this point, the offense has been really, really good.
Credit to Josh Allen, too, in the games leading up to this, because he's had to put on, and I felt like at times you were doing this, you're putting the Superman cape on. Josh Allen had to come out of the pocket a little bit, because I also think, like, the interception, he'll say it, inexcusable. You can't have that play there, right? Josh Allen scrambling around the pocket, and you have a better view up top than I do down on the field, because I'm only seeing what's field level to me. I have to imagine, Matt, there are so many times Josh Allen's rolling out of the pocket, scrambling around there, looking for somebody. I mean, like the prayer ball he sent up to Keon, that Keon caught but was out of bounds. To me, that is, from my perspective, I'm going, okay, nobody is getting open downfield. And he was asked about that after the game. It just feels like there's no deep vertical threat. Like Josh Palmer got a good, nice, like probably 20-ish, 25-yard like play early in the first quarter. I go, okay, there it is. Dalton Kincaid, really good game. I think he's like the one guy offensively that played a really good game. First career 100-plus receiving yard game. So Kincaid looked really good. But did it feel like there was just a separation issue? Like, did it feel like, from your perspective up there, that receivers just weren't getting open?
Feels like they need a guy like Stefon Diggs is what it feels like a little bit, to be honest. Here's the thing I'll say. Apparently on the broadcast, now, obviously I'm in the press box, you're on the field, so we're not necessarily hearing the commentary. I guess one of the things that was brought up on the broadcast was Chris Collinsworth talking about how Josh Allen, for a lot of this game, had a lot of time to throw, and that the offensive line was doing a really good job protecting him. I think I would agree with that. However, I think he's holding on to the ball a little bit longer because there aren't that many options down the field, and they are trying to manufacture some offense. I thought Keon Coleman had a couple nice plays at the end of the game. Like, he had a nice play on the drive that led to the field goal that tied it 20-20. Obviously, he had the touchdown. I thought the start of this game was kind of disastrous for him. Josh Palmer has been pretty much like an afterthought for this team. Khalil Shakir, it feels like, okay, they hit him on a couple slants in the inside and try and get him on a couple screens, but other than that,
very boomer bust with Khalil Shakir almost.
Just like collectively doesn't feel like they have that many options. Curtis Samuel, he does what he is asked to do of like, okay, go fake a motion, come back in, walk in, touchdown. Yeah, I don't really think they have a true vertical threat on this offense. And it's weird because going into this game, they have still scored points.
30-plus points.
That's what I mean. So it's like, yeah, that is an area that they need to improve, but that's been an area that they've needed to improve for years.
Since Stefon Diggs left the team.
Yeah.
I mean, and there are still questions when Steph was still here in that last season. I will say I got a shot of Stefon Diggs before the game. He was doing his pregame warm-ups. Guys were just stretching out, and he would come up every other rep, and he would just kind of stare off at the Bills.
Yeah.
Kind of warming up or whatever. And to myself, I'm like, is he just trying to create a little storyline for himself? Is he trying to just like build a little, the kids say it, aura now, Matt, is what it is. But then he really did. I mean, Stefon Diggs had a spectacular games that we have seen him do here time and time again in this stadium. But now obviously he does it for a different team, which, I mean, credit to Stefon Diggs and credit to Drake May. I think that's a good 1-2 combo. But there are so many things I go back to, and like when I look at this game and when like Sean McDermott probably looks at the film and talks to us on Monday for the press conferences, there's going to be so many things you look back, you're like, okay, one extra play here, one extra thing here, like Josh Allen, I'm going to go back to that interception. I'm going to go back to a couple Keon drops. Like that's the NFL, right? Like there's just one little thing here and there that's ultimately going to spiral you. And again, like it's 23-20. The Bills score one more touchdown, one more field goal. This game we're just probably wrapping it up moments ago because we're in overtime at this point. It's weird like that.
Yeah, I mean, and then once again, not blaming the refs. I hate when people talk about a game and they blame the refs.
Like you're about to do?
No, I'm not about to blame the refs, but I'm talking about how close and small the margins are. On the Bills' final offensive possession, Josh buys time, rolls out to his right, and throws a ball back across his body to Khalil Shakir. Christian Gonzalez breaks up the pass. there were people arguing that it could have been defensive pass interference. I haven't seen a great replay yet, so I don't know. So maybe it was a blatant missed call, maybe it was perfectly timed. But the margins are so small because if that is DPI, the Bills have a first down. There's 2 minutes left on the clock, and they're probably not giving the ball back to the Patriots. I think they would have been at like their 15 or their 10 or something. So at that point, it's okay. Either you're kicking a field goal with way less time, and then you're trying to get this game to overtime, or if you score, then the Patriots have to go down the field and score a touchdown. So like the margins are so small. The thing that I want to wrap up with is after the game, I said there are absolutely reasons to be concerned, but I don't think we are at the panic point or even close to that yet. After every one of these losses, collectively people panic because understandably so. There's so much riding on these games. There's only 17 of them. It's the first time they've lost in this building in a regular season game in a long, long time. Reasons to be concerned, not reasons to panic, at least if you're asking me.
Yeah, I'm already optimistic, like looking ahead. Like I think this is a wake-up call. I think the Bills just needed a little bit of wake-up call, and it goes back to what I said earlier, the inconsistencies that have built up over the past couple of weeks. You have a little bit of an extended week because you're playing Monday night in Atlanta, so you've got kind of that extra day. You know there's a bye week. I'm looking for this team to come back in Atlanta, recharge, refocus. I think Atlanta's a very beatable team. I think this Patriots team they lost to is better than that Atlanta team we're probably seeing Monday night. So overall, I think the Bills have an opportunity for a nice bounce back week moving forward here. Then you have the bye week, and then after that, man, I mean, like you're tied for top in the, I think with the Colts, right, in the AFC.
They would
So,
the Colts would have a stronger, I would imagine, the
strength of schedule. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
sorry.
we only have one. This is completely on me. I left my microphone inside. The Colts would have a greater strength of victory, so they would be in first place. The Bills would be in second place. Listen, the AFC East, the Patriots are still very much in this, as they should be. They're playing a fourth-place schedule compared to the Bills' first-place schedule, so they're going to have some really, really favorable matchups. But for the Bills, if you go and you beat the Falcons, your start to the season still really sets you up
5-1
for what you are trying to accomplish. You just got to take care of business when you play the Patriots later on in the season.
And then that's what we'll do. We'll take care of business leading into Atlanta. All right. So 23-20, the final score. New England gives the Buffalo Bills their first loss of the season. I'm Dom Tibbetts. That's Matt Bove. Talk to you guys later.